I'm pleased to be joined by both our outgoing president, and Ryan Robertson, and Jane. Jane, of course, will be coming in as president in 2022. And first of all, can I ask you to briefly share with us some of your final thoughts during the term of your presidency?
Thank you, Brian. You know, today is bittersweet for me because it marks the beginning of the end of my term as president, while heralding the first time in the history of the Chartered Institute there are back-to-back female presidents. When the Institute adopted the tagline, "Evolving to Resolve," for its logo, no one could have foreseen how quickly we would have to evolve in 2020. In the face of the pandemic that has affected the whole world, both the ADR profession and the Institute itself have evolved and adapted. And my entire presidency has been marked by that adaptation. As mentioned in my opening remarks, for the majority of my presidency, I have delivered speeches virtually, but the result has been that I've had an opportunity to address and meet more members than any president in the Institute's history. Use of the virtual platforms has allowed the Chartered Institute to continue to foster the important issues of equality, diversity, and inclusion. And while much remains to be done, progress indeed has been made. Member engagement in the Chartered Institute is at its highest due to such important initiatives as the mentoring scheme and the member insight panel. The branches have launched thought-provoking webinars, and the Young Members Group embarked on a worldwide webinar tour with the theme Arbitration and Mediation as a Global Force for Good. One of the core issues addressed during my presidency, which was the focus of this convention and which will continue to be an important issue for the Chartered Institute in the coming years, is sustainability. Wendy Miles' Alexander Lecture on Sustainability and the Role Dispute Resolvers Will Play was a call to arms, and it is a call that the Chartered Institute is determined to meet. 2021 also marked greater collaboration with other arbitral bodies, such as the ICC, and that collaboration will continue into the future as we fulfill our mandate. That mandate being to promote and facilitate worldwide the determination of disputes by arbitration and alternative means of private dispute resolution other than by resolution by the courts. It's been my great privilege to represent this renewed, reinvigorated, and dynamic organization. I wish my friend and successor, Jane Gunn, an exciting and fulfilling year as president. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Anne, and it's been a pleasure to serve under your leadership as president as well. As we look forward to 2022, I'm also very excited to hear from Jane on her ambitions for her presidency and the areas that she hopes to focus on. Jane, as a leading mediator, how do you think this will influence your approach to the presidency when you take office in January?
Oh, thank you, Brian. And I'd just like to offer my congratulations to Anne on a wonderful year in difficult circumstances. But I know Anne has really been able to connect, as she says, with so many people and has carried out a most amazing year. So congratulations, Anne, on that, and thank you for your dedication and commitment this year. I'm really looking forward to my year, which begins really in January. Really excited about that. To be a mediator president is also exciting for me. And one of the things that many people know that I'm really passionate about, and has come back to me, as I mentioned earlier, in the lockdown. I've become nicknamed the Barefoot Mediator. And the reason for that is that I've gone back to basics. What are the essence? What are the principles of mediation? How can we really incorporate those into the wider community? I think that's the thing I'm so excited about. Many people today have spoken about, let's go back to resolution of issues, not focus on disputes. Let's really understand how we can get the message out to the wider community about how to understand the principles of dispute resolution, and in particular mediation. How can we get that message out to not only to the legal community, but to businesses, to schools, to those in education, even to families? I today had an article in our independent newspaper here, which was, how are we going to resolve disputes when families and friends gather at Christmas? So all of these things are relevant, and I really look forward to addressing many of them. And in particular, I'd like to work with young people here, particularly young people who are about to enter into employment, and thinking about how can they already begin to understand how these principles of conflict resolution can be put into practice for them as they move into the workplace. So I think we need to be working with businesses to foster a better culture, effective dispute resolution. How can they not only understand the principles, but how can they embed it into their culture, into the corporate culture? A long-standing ambition when I was working in the Chartered Institute, running the mediation training course with my colleague David Richborough, was to make the CIArb a home for mediators, and that really is still something I'd love to see come to fruition, for us to be able to achieve that home for mediators feeling. Growing, of course, the CIArb membership, and I was just hearing from Anne about new branches that are coming into existence. So exciting that we are going to be creating new branches, new members, and hopefully more new young members. And then really finding opportunities for existing members. How can they be better connected into the Chartered Institute? How can they find their best opportunities to obtain appointments? How can we all join together and help each other? And that really is to be my theme. I think this sort of togetherness, connectedness and collaboration, even though we can't always meet in person. Many of you know that my name is Gunn. That's a Scottish clan. So by marriage, I'm a member of the Gunn clan. And here is the Gunn Clan Sash, which I'm entitled to wear. And rather coincidentally, the motto of the Gunn clan is Oat Pax, Oat Bellum, either peace or war. So I thought that's very relevant for a peacemaker. But not only that, there is also another sash which you have to be given permission to wear, and this is the International Mediators sash. I was given this and given permission to wear it by John Starrock from Scotland. So we have, I have these two sashes which have different meanings, which are very relevant to peacemaking and mediation. So I think just to finish, that's my theme, but what my motto will be and my call to action for all of us is about collaboration, connectedness and cooperation. And the theme for my presidential year is Let's Piece It Together.